My name is Dr. Shailesh Gupta. I'm a retina specialist. I practice in the outskirts of Fort Lauderdale and Palm Beach and Broward County.
Hi, welcome, and thank you for joining us. Please tell us about your research you presented.
Over the last year, we analyzed some data from patients who don't see very well. We call them low vision patients, from a disease called macular degeneration. And what we did was we looked to see if these patients noticed an improvement in how well they read, depending on what font was used on an electronic tablet. We specifically looked at iPads. So what we did was we looked at 3 or 4 different common fonts: New Times Roman, Helvetica, Arial, and Courier. We took a group of patients who had a diagnosis of severe macular degeneration. We gave them all iPads, and we told them to read a specifically selected passage from the New York Times, and we measured their satisfaction. We also looked at their quality of life based on a standardized survey. We looked at reading time and reading speed. And in all 4 of those categories, we found that Courier font seems to be preferable in terms of how patients view a particular passage when they're reading on an iPad. This is a follow-up study that we did earlier, looking at size and how you manipulate the size of lettering on an electronic device such as an iPad. And in general, what we found is that electronic devices can serve as great low vision aids that are now very common, so patients have easy access to them. They're relatively inexpensive, and because they're common and relatively inexpensive, patients are able to use them through their camera function and through audiobooks, as well as specifically typed out electronic books, and manipulate the font, the coloring, the size, to be able to read better. So the takeaway of this is, while this is about a particular font, in this case Courier font, iPads are great low vision devices, electronic tablets are great low vision devices, and if they're used, and we encourage patients to use them, patients will be able to read more and therefore will be more functional and more independent.
What are your next steps in this line of research?
Variables that we would be interested in looking at. We are also interested in looking at color, background, intensity. We may look at other fonts. But this is definitely an area of interest to many, many of our patients, not just for macular degeneration, but also diabetes and glaucoma and other diseases where people can lose a significant amount of central functional quality vision.
Was this a multi-site study or only conducted with patients in your practice?
We've just done this as part of our own patient populations. This study was done in a couple of locations, and it's not a hard study to do, and the results are potentially applicable to a very large group of patients across multiple diseases.
Is there anything you'd like to close with?
Well, thank you for your time, and this is something that I found very interesting, and it was a result that, while I didn't expect it, and my colleagues did not expect it, we find that it's useful and it makes sense.
Thank you for taking time out to share with us.